The first Jedi. The origins of the Jedi Order. For over 25,000 years, the Jedi have stood as the guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy. But where did they come from? Who was the first Jedi? And how did the Order begin? The truth is shrouded in mystery, hidden in the depths of ancient history. But through legends, scattered records, and fragments of ancient texts, we can piece together the story of the first Jedi and the birth of the Force's greatest warriors. The dawn of the Jedi, the first Force users. Before the Jedi, before the Sith, before lightsabers or the Republic, there were only beings who could feel the Force. These early Force-sensitive individuals existed in primitive civilizations scattered across the galaxy. They had no order, no code, just a connection to the Force, raw and untamed. Some sought to understand it, to live in harmony with its will. Others sought to bend it to their own desires, using it for power and dominance. And so, from the beginning, the Force was split between light and dark. One of the earliest known records of the first true Jedi comes from a distant world, the planet Tython. Tython, the birthplace of the Jedi. Tython was a world rich with the Force, a place where balance between light and dark was vital. It is said that thousands of years before the Republic, a group of scholars, warriors, and philosophers came together on this planet to study the Force. They called themselves the Jedi. The Jedi Order was not Jedi as we know them today. They did not serve only the light side. Instead, they believed in balance, training in both light and dark to maintain harmony. If a Jedi leaned too far into the light, they were sent to study the dark. If they fell too deep into darkness, they were forced to meditate on the light. But this balance could not last forever. As time passed, a great divide formed. Some believed that the dark side was too dangerous, that it led only to suffering and destruction. Others saw the dark side as the true path to power, something to be embraced. This division led to war. A war that shattered the Jedi Order and gave rise to the Jedi, the first Jedi Knight. At the heart of this war stood the first Jedi. But who was this figure? While no official name has been confirmed, some legends speak of a single warrior who led those who embraced the light side after the Jedi Order collapsed. Some believe that this warrior became the first true Jedi Knight, the founder of the Jedi Order we know today. Unlike the Jedi abandoned the practice of balancing both light and dark. Instead, they committed themselves fully to the light side, swearing to never let the dark side corrupt them. And so, the first Jedi Order was born, the arrival on Ossus and the rise of the Jedi Order. After the fall of the Jedi, the newly formed Jedi sought a new home. They eventually settled on Ossus, an ancient world that became the birthplace of the Jedi Order. Here, they built their first temples, established the first Jedi codes, and began their mission to become the protectors of peace in the galaxy. They trained in the ways of the Force, developing techniques that would define the Jedi for generations. Telekinesis, mind control force, visions, lightsaber combat. But at this time, lightsabers did not yet exist. The first Jedi warriors fought with Force-imbued swords, weapons enhanced by the energy of the Force itself. It would be centuries before the first lightsaber was created. But even as the Jedi grew in strength, the dark side was never truly defeated. The first Dark Jedi and the origins of the Sith. From the very beginning, there were those who rejected the Jedi's path. Some believed that the dark side held true power, and they refused to abandon it. These fallen Jedi became known as the first Dark Jedi, and their rebellion against the Jedi Order led to some of the first great wars in galactic history. Eventually, these Dark Jedi were exiled, cast out into the unknown regions of space. And there, they discovered a forgotten species, the Sith. Blending their knowledge of the dark side with Sith sorcery, these exiles became the first Sith Lords, creating an empire built on power, fear, and domination. The war between Jedi and Sith had begun, and it would continue for thousands of years. What happened to the first Jedi? What became of the first Jedi Knight? Did they fall in battle? Did they pass into legend? Or did they simply fade into history as the Jedi Order grew? We may never know. The records of the first Jedi have been lost to time, buried in ancient ruins, destroyed in Sith wars, or hidden deep in Jedi archives that may never be opened again. But their legacy lives on. From the first warriors on Tython to the rise of the Jedi Order, from the ancient battles with the Sith to the fall of the Republic, from Obi-Wan Kenobi to Luke Skywalker to Rey. The Jedi began with one person, one warrior, one guardian of the Force, and their story is still being written. The legacy of the first Jedi. The first Jedi may be a mystery, but their actions shaped everything that came after them. The Jedi Order, the Sith Wars, the destiny of the galaxy. It all began with those first steps into the unknown. Perhaps one day, the truth about the first Jedi will finally be uncovered. Until then, the legend remains.